welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Margaret Feeney, founder and CEO of Feeney Farm. Hi, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you have a farm, a real farm?
Yes, it's more of a garden. It started, Feeney Farm started as an actual farm, a plot of land that we grew organic vegetables and donated it to cancer survivors in the Fairfield, Connecticut community.
Oh wow! And you are in Fairfield County.
I'm in Fairfield.
I
yes.
thought Fairfield County was urban.
Oh no, a mixture, more
That's
suburban.
Connecticut.
Yes.
Yeah. And how did you get involved in this? What gave you this idea?
4 years ago, I lost my father to pancreatic cancer and became very aware of the connection between diet and disease.
Oh really?
Yes, and we all should be eating our fruits and vegetables and getting the right nutrients.
In fact, I'm sitting here consumed with guilt just talking to you. Fruit I had, vegetable.
It's always It's
okay. So, but you have morphed. You've grown away from that,
yes.
And are you still growing organic vegetables?
Well, Feeney Farm won't be growing organic vegetables, but we'll be funding projects that do.
Right.
I think what our problem was, or what my fault was this summer, is that I attacked it from purely a supply issue, where it's really demand. What do we do to increase people wanting to consume more fruits and vegetables? And that's what Feeney Farm is now.
Well, join the, whatever it is, the American Nutrition Society or anything. I mean, for years, most of us in school and outside have seen these plans, these color plans. I remember those plates with green and yellow, and
yes.
so much was fruit and so much was vegetable and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't seem to make a difference. Americans don't seem to want to eat vegetables. What are you doing about that, Margaret?
That's a great point, and I think we've been numb to those signs and those colors. It's really going to have to be, why is global warming such a big issue? It's something that reaches communities we know that affects in the future. Our health and what we eat is just as serious. The effects it's going to have on our healthcare system 10, 20, 5 years down the line, it has to be that serious of an issue.
Well, let's go to how you make the issue serious. I don't think anybody would give you an argument that it's not healthy, that it doesn't help your health to eat vegetables. For one thing, vegetables do cut down on weight, correct?
Yes.
They do provide minerals and chemicals, things that your body. But I want to go into this business of how you got started, prevention of disease. I don't know that I hear much about vegetables being tied to disease prevention. Tell me about that.
Sure. Well,
tell us about that.
Sure. Antioxidants that are found in fruits and vegetables help prevent diseases such as cancer, heart disease, some forms of cancer, and diabetes. And that people who consume at least 5 fruits and vegetables a day are half as likely to develop cancer as someone who just
really
eats 2 servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is this something that's been tied to research?
Yes, the National Institute of Health, other organizations, government agencies have studied the links.
Yeah. So a good preventative of cancer or type of cancer or diabetes. And let's, I think that we should throw into the mix obesity.
Absolutely,
Obesity is soon starting to become a disease.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 70% of Americans are overweight, 1 in 3 obese.
Yeah, and what about kids?
Yes.
I mean, I remember so well. I mean, a typical snack. I always worked. My kids came home, but a typical snack was always, yes, maybe a cookie, but it was always with an apple, a cut-up apple. I mean, everything came with an apple, and in the morning, things were associated with bananas. I mean, it was a typical childhood snack.
Yes.
And even now, to this day, I stick a banana in my purse if I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to eat yet.
Right. Absolutely, yes.
But those snacks seem to have been replaced by other kinds of fast food snacks.
Yes, and actually snacking has increased tremendously over the past 15 years, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just, what are we snacking on? Like
exactly.
You pointed out, it's not as convenient to grab a vegetable sometimes. A fruit, yes, but it's more convenient sometimes to get
I see that
chips.
vending machines now
Yes.
are packaging baby carrots.
Yes.
And we're having trouble figuring out how to package a banana or something. But there is an attempt.
Yes.
There is an attempt.
There is.
So Are you an organization, Feeney Farm? Is it just you? Who's helping you do this?
A lot of friends and family, a lot of people at the right time. Right now it's just me as a nonprofit organization, but I hope in January to be hiring some full-time staff and volunteers. So
how are you going about teaching them? And anyway, don't you have to get past a certain, isn't there some kind of an impasse in this eating of fruits and vegetables? Let's put fruits aside for the moment. I think fruits get a fairer shake than vegetables.
They do, yes.
First of all, Margaret, I'm sorry, I have two
That's
Nancy's on
right,
before.
yeah.
Nancy, Margaret. First of all, Margaret, you've got to buy the vegetables. They're not cheap.
Yes.
Then you've got to make them, and you have to plan to make them. And then when you get all done with all of that, they don't taste very good.
Well,
what do you tell people to do about all that?
I think, part of that is, it comes down to having time to prepare a good tasting meal. Either that's adding some garlic, some olive oil. There are ways to make vegetables taste better.
I suppose like anything else, if you take a piece of chicken and stick it in water and boil it without any salt, without any pepper, without any garlic, without any sautéing, it doesn't taste like much. So so you're saying the same kind of cooking techniques apply to vegetables?
Absolutely, yes.
Right. But do you have an education program that you're doing to teach people how to do this?
Well, Feeney Farm's website will supply information on cost, nutritional value, and perhaps national retail deals on produce. But there are a lot of great organizations out there that already do the education piece. Really, Feeney Farm is really starting the conversation by attacking it from the 5 factors that were cited for inadequate consumption: availability, cost, confusion about what to buy.
Right, exactly. There's a world of vegetables that we don't even know about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially when there's a lot of diets out there that are come and go, you hear different things about different vegetables, and in reality, a variety is important. There's not a silver bullet vegetable out there.
Exactly. But there has been a great increase in farmers markets.
Yes.
And in fact, to tell you the truth, I notice when we go away summers or something, we go to a beach community, that there's a certain elitist approach to vegetables. It's kind of funny. You're laughing. But I mean, if I stop at a farmer's market, I see things like heirloom tomato, and in different colors, purple, orange, things that I never even knew really existed, and heirloom apples. There was a big thing in the Wall Street Journal the other day about heirloom apples. There's a certain caliber of vegetables that went up the social ladder of status.
Yes. Actually, I ran into a gentleman this morning who told me that trends have reversed. It used to be 50 years ago that the wealthy people were eating packaged foods because it was, it showed that you could afford to purchase that item, and all the poor people were growing their own food, and now it's totally reversed.
Right, it's a flip-flop.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because these heirloom elitist vegetables are not cheap.
No, they're not at all. And especially to get access to them, you have to be probably in an area that's more affluent.
But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about this. But there's also ethnic restaurants and food. I see much more around than I used to see.
Right.
I mean, I think that the popularity is maybe very slow growing, but I think also that what you're saying is true. The popularity seems to be people who have a little bit more money to spend, a little bit more access to outside. And really what we need to make, I guess we're trying to make vegetables accessible and easy to flavor and cook to working mothers, low-income people.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we talk about childhood obesity, the biggest factor that influences a child's decision to consume a food item is their parents, way more than TV or siblings
right,
or
absolutely,
school.
absolutely. We had someone on the show that talked about childhood obesity. He has a program for it, Fit Kids, and he said the single best tool against childhood obesity is the family.
Absolutely, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you found, Margaret, that working mothers can do to put more vegetables in their family's diet?
Well, I think, so if 90% of vegetables that are consumed at dinner, it's, okay, how do we include it in more meals throughout the day? It could be as easy or as, getting the carrots, the packaged carrots.
Right. And I mean, even if you buy the raw, I mean, I have to tell you, I myself for a while was buying the packaged baby carrots, and I thought, gee, that's a lot of money. They're a lot of money. And sometimes in the supermarket you see carrot sticks and celery already come, which after a day or two don't keep very well.
Right.
And I found that just buying an ordinary bunch of carrots, it's a little bit messy, but getting the tops torn off, taking them home, using a potato peeler to peel the carrots, and just cutting them up in small pieces and putting them in a bowl of ice water. They keep very well.
Oh, yes.
They keep very well in the refrigerator, and a few of those in a plastic bag is a very healthy snack.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And other things that I hadn't thought of keeping. You can do the same thing with celery. And I know now when folks come over, I see that people tend to serve carrots and celery along with cheeses instead of a lot of chips and salty kind of things.
Yes, that's true. Eating for us as Americans to eat more vegetables, it also has to become more socially acceptable in more frequent times throughout the day.
But when you travel outside of the United States, people eat vegetables and they seem to like them. What's the difference?
Well, they pay a lot for their vegetables. That might have something to do with it.
And they're costly in other countries.
They're costlier, so it's something where, it's when you pay that much for something you're consuming, you're gonna learn to enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you found any difference in the nutritional value between frozen vegetables and fresh?
No, for the most part they're the same. So that's a great way.
So that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to have a frozen peas or frozen green beans.
Absolutely.
Or something. And the other thing I think it may have seen in your literature, and I've also found out is true, is that one dish meals, which are wonderful for working women, the flavor of the vegetables seems to absorb the flavor of the meat or the chicken or whatever you do to make some kind of a casserole dish healthy. And I hear mothers talking about doing things like slivers of zucchini or carrot or thing in spaghetti sauce. I mean,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference how you get it. I think kids that learn how to eat vegetables around the kitchen table at home tend to do so then in their own families.
Absolutely, and when children are part of a school garden program, they usually eat 1.5 more servings of vegetables a day.
Yeah. Well, we have a good model. I mean, our First Lady has gone out of her way to start. And I think you're riding a tidal wave. There is a lot more interest in growing vegetables and eating vegetables than there is before. So what's recommended now? 5 servings?
5 to 9 of fruits and vegetables a day.
Oh wow, that doesn't give you much time to eat anything else.
But juice is a great way to.
Oh, that's a good way too, and it gets rid of, if you make your own juice from these vegetables.
Absolutely.
It gets away from all those sugar juices.
Absolutely, yep. And if you can make it at home, it's better because you don't have the plastic bottle to go with it. But
and also there's a pleasure of doing things for yourself too.
There is, yeah, and I think that helps you enjoy it. I think it makes it taste better when you do it yourself.
Well, I have to say, I help you out with carrot cake. I'm known for my carrot cake. Okay?
That might count, actually. I have to check that.
You have to check out carrot cake. Would you? Right, banana bread. I mean, some things that are staples. Anyway, thanks so much for what you're doing. I'm sorry. I mean, you got into this from kind of a sad story.
Right.
But look what you're doing. That must make you feel very good that you're doing this in your father's memory.
Yeah, I'm trying to prevent additional cases of diseases
and
that are linked to.
More importantly, you took something that was a sad in your life and you turned it into doing something that helps society. And I think that's what could be better.
Well, I've had a lot of help, but thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for being on the show. I'm Judith West. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth, and I have to close with this reminder: eat your veggies. Thanks for watching.